Hi everyone, and welcome to another Jason's Transport Logs video. I am currently at Epping Station today on the metro platforms 5 and 6. Now, this video is a little bit of a specialty as this is a video about a very special city metro track work. Now, this isn't just some random Trackworks travel series video. There's actually a transfer required at Martin Place Station, but however, I'll explain more about that later. But however, just to quickly summarize it up, because of track work preparations for the Bankstown Line metro testing, this weekend, the date of filming this is 30th of March 2025. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, Metro only operates between Tallawong and Marsden Place, and between Marsden Place and Central only. What does this mean? Okay, let me quickly explain. So, from Tallawong, the Metro runs on a standard journey, except that it terminates at Marsden Place Platform 4. Now, you might be wondering, doesn't normally the Metro arrives at Marsden Place on platform 3? Yes, 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 but just hear me out. And then once the metro terminates at platform 4, in order if you want to get to the city, to go to Central and Gadigal, you will need to head over to the opposite platform, platform 3, where you will then catch a shuttle train. But however, now that I have took the escalator down, let's go over to the platforms. In this video, you will see a lot of features that you don't normally see when the metro trains operate normally between Tallawong and Sydenham. And at the end of the video, I will provide a detailed diagram if you don't understand any of the stuff that I explained so far in this video. But first, this is the Metro Trackwork announcement.
Due to track work this weekend, metro services run between Tallawong and Martin Place and between Martin Place and Central only. Change metro services at Martin Place to continue your journey. Plan your trip at transportnsw.info.
So the metro announcement you just heard for the Trackwork is pretty self-explanatory. It's just basically what I said. Metro only runs between Tallawong and Martin Place and between Martin Place and Central only. And if you need to go to Waterloo or Sydenham stations, you need to chain for buses at Central. And yeah, for more planning and more Trackwork updates, just go to transportnsw.info. And here is the first unusual feature that you won't see normally, or hear, rather. Take a close listen to the announcements.
The train to Martin Place is going to enter platform number 5.
Now, as the metro is about to start on platform 5 here at Epping, you might have noticed something strange or off about the metro. Normally, when services operate normally from Tallawong to Sydenham, it, the desktop board on the metro will show Sydenham in big white text. But however, this one remained empty. You might be wondering why. Well, the reason behind this is simple. The City Metro cannot display custom text, so the only text, or shall I say desktop destinations, that the Metro actually recognizes is Tallawong, Chatswood, or Sydenham. So as this Metro is terminating at Martin Place, it does not recognize its desktop, as therefore the board is left empty. Now that we're on the metro, have a listen to the announcements being played after we departed Epping Station.
The next stop is Macquarie University.
Now, as you just heard, the announcement played, the next stop is Macquarie University. Now, normally when services operate normally between Tallawong to Sydenham, it will say, this is an all-stop service to Sydenham. The next stop is Macquarie University. The reason why that first sentence wasn't played is the same as the desktop board. We cannot play custom-made text because these are actually pre-recorded announcements by Taylor Owens, and it only has terminations announcements of Chatswood and Sydenham, which Marsden Place is not one of them. So that is why it only played that second sentence, which is the next stop is Macquarie University. Now, as I depart Crow's Nest, I get a better view of recording this. But instead of having a chunk of text scrolling through like this video right here, it only displays Victoria Cross, as since it does not recognize the Martin Place termination, it only displayed the next station instead of the this is an all stop service to something like that.
The next stop is Barangaroo.
Now that we are on our way to Barangaroo and we have departed Victoria Cross, let me explain why this is my favorite section of the entire video coming up. Because before we arrive at Barangaroo station, we will be using the Barangaroo crossover. Why? Okay, let me explain. So surely in this clip of me traveling from Victoria Cross to Barangaroo, you will see a white light, a little white diagonal light on the left side of the screen. Due to my poor phone quality, I did not record that very well, so apologize for that in advance. But the light is there. That white diagonal light is not some special signal used for metro. You only see those at junctions, and Barangaroo crossover counts as one of them. So after crossing that signal/light, the metro will then slow down, and then before arriving into Barangaroo crossover, it will then use the crossover tracks where it will cross onto the Tallawong bound tracks. That, well, supposed to be anyway. And from that part on to Martin Place, we will be traveling on the opposite direction of the metro. So what that means is, the little walkway thing that you normally see on the right of the driver's POV is now going to be on the left. I wonder, how exciting. I'm going to now fast forward to the section where we see the light. See this little white diagonal light on the left? I'm getting pretty excited.
Barangaroo, a light for Darling Harbour and Walsh Bay. Change for F3 Parramatta River and F4 Pyrmont Bay ferry services. Doors will open on the left. This stop is Barangaroo.
Alright, now that we have traversed the crossover and is about to arrive at Barangaroo, from this point on until Martin Place, we're all going to be traveling in the opposite direction. I hope our fellow metro train knows what they are doing.
The next stop is Martin Place.
It is also very interesting to hear other passengers' comments with the metro staffs about the transfer.
Martin Place.
Alright, now that we have arrived at Martin Place, we're going to now get off the train. The train is due to leave in 1 minute's time, as other trains need to also traverse the Barangaroo crossover and go on to the opposite tracks. So right now, me and every other passengers that are wishing to head more close to the Sydney CBD, the city, is head over to the opposite side, the opposite platforms on Martin Place. Platform 3, where they will now catch a shuttle metro train service that will take them to Gadigal and Central. And by the way, whilst I'm here, this is also the Trackwork announcement that is played only at Martin Place Station.
Due to track work, metro services towards Tallawong leave from platform 4. Services towards Central leave from platform 3. If travelling to Waterloo or Sydenham, change at Central for buses.
The train to Central is going to enter platform number 3.
Alright, our shuttle train is now arriving on to platform 3. And same deal as before, since the desktop board does not recognize Martin Place as Central, it will remain empty. And by the way, for the Tallawong bound journey from Martin Place, the announcements will be played like per usual, and there is also a desktop board saying Tallawong. Let's get aboard and explore more of these shuttle trains. Alright, so first up on the shuttle trains, as the shuttle train only stops at Gadigal and Central 2 stops, so obviously the destination board is also very short, so there's only 3 stations featured on here.
Please stand clear. Doors closing. The next stop is Gadigal.
Alright, time to ride the metro. I'm only going to be riding this metro for 1 stop and then getting off at Gadigal. Since at Gadigal I have more time to film, let's just say, some more interesting stuff. No more spoilers, keep watching.
This stop is Gadigal. Arrived for Hyde Park, Town Hall and QVD. Doors will open on the right.
I'll show you later.
This stop is Gadigal.
Alright, and this is our metro train now departing Gadigal platform 1. Now, the reason why I have decided to get off at Gadigal instead of taking the full ride to Central is because I actually explained this a bit earlier already. Now, just like at Barangaroo, where only one platform is in use, both Tallawong and Martin Place bound trains all use the same platform, so trains come on the platform at a 5-minute frequency, with each service going each direction in a 10-minute frequency. The same thing happens here at Gadigal. Platform 2 is out of service, so both Central and Martin Place bound trains come every 5 minutes. The Central bound services come every 10 minutes, and same thing with the Martin Place services. So the reason why I have got off is pretty simple. It will be pretty interesting if I can film one metro train leave from the same platform and the other metro train coming also in the opposite direction on the same platform as well, which I think is a pretty cool idea. So as you can see here, platform 2 is out of service today.
The train to Martin Place
Alright, and this is our metro train, the one that we just got off earlier, now arriving back at Gadigal for Marsden Place, coming in the opposite direction. Time to take a shot backwards. Now, the priority was definitely to film the same metro train, go to Central, and come back for Marsden Place on the same platform. So that means I am at the back of the train recording this. So unfortunately, we're not going to be getting the full ride from Gadigal to Marsden Place, traveling on the opposite direction. But however, taking off in the supposedly correct tracks backwards, I think also makes up. That is also a pretty cool thing. Alright, well that quick 1 minute journey was up. Well, probably less than 1 minute, but you get a point. Fun fact, by the way, the whole shuttle train is actually only 2 minutes long to travel from Central to Marsden Place and vice versa.
The train to Talwell is going to enter platform number 4.
Now that we are back on platform 4, time to take this metro train back to Epping.
Stand clear. Doors closing.
这个连鞋子过去。单纯呢，现在给这个规矩，天儿冷我。
This is all stop service to Talwell. The next stop is Barangaroo.
Right, so now that we have departed Marsden Place and we are on the way back to Chatswood and further northwest of Sydney. So what did we learn today during the transfer and what should you keep in mind of it? I'm going to now pull up a map and I'm going to explain everything I have mentioned the whole video in simple terms and in more depth. Alright folks, so right now I am in paint and this is the diagram that I have made, showcase that I'm about to tell you and explain to you in depth but in simple terms about how the transfer works. So this map is goes from Sydenham and this is to the Bankstown line the testing, but I just did a straight line which doesn't really matter. And it goes to Victoria Cross and this is from Tallawong and to Tallawong. By the way, the text is so blurry is because I have zoomed into 400% and the pixels cannot render this small, so which is why the text is a bit glitchy, but it's okay. So let me first explain. So from Tallawong, as I said earlier, the metro makes a normal journey on the left side of the tracks and to Victoria Cross Station. So once it reaches Victoria Cross, it will then arrive here. It will then keep going. So the red line is going to be the metro's journey to Marsden Place. So normally, as you know, when the metro operates normally between Tallawong and Sydenham, it will continue past the Barangaroo crossover at normal speed at 80 kilometers per hour, and then it will shoot straight into Barangaroo station and then continue on to Central and Sydenham and the Sydney CBD. But since I've already mentioned Sydenham and Waterloo stations are out of actions and you have to change services in Marsden Place, the only way to make this possible is to use the Barangaroo crossover. So you would have saw moments ago that there is this white diagonal line, something that looks like this on the left side of the tracks. And then when it sees that, the metro will slow down to about 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. And then once it reaches the Barangaroo crossover, it will continue on, slow down, and then turns right, follows this track across to the other side before merging onto the Tallawong bound tracks and arriving at Barangaroo. The do the reason for doing this is because Martin Place on the adjacent platform there is another service that runs on one side of the track only. So that means if it goes to Martin Place, the two trains will then collide, which subsequently resulted in Barangaroo platform 2, I think this was, also not being able to be used. So only platform 1 is going to be used for both Tallawong and Martin Place bound trains. So that means so as this part forward on, and yeah, it will continue to Barangaroo on the traverse on the opposite direction, and then it will continue on to Martin Place, where the line will then terminate here. So I'm just draw a line, and that is the terminus of the service from Tallawong. And I'm going to change the color from red to brown now to mark the journey backwards. So since Martin Place and both Tallawong trains come once every 10 minutes, the services at Martin Place only stops at Martin Place for approximately 1 minute before having to make its return journey back to Barangaroo, Victoria Cross, and further to the northwest. The reason for that being is because the train behind it also needs to use the crossover before reaching a Barangaroo and Martin Place, which means it cannot stay there for long. So when it comes back, it is actually a normal journey. It will run through here to Barangaroo, and then instead of using a crossover, it just goes forward, past this crossover, and then it will arrive at Victoria Cross Station, and then on the normal side of the tracks, and all the way to the northwest. And that is basically it. And once the train has arrived at Victoria Cross, it's probably the same timing as when the other train that came from Victoria Cross to Martin Place will use the Barangaroo crossover, and then that process goes on so on and so forth, as you can see marked by the red crosses. And since this service, the Tallawong service, terminates at Martin Place, as I already mentioned, services need no services. Passengers that want to head to Gadigal and Central need to head over to adjacent platforms. So the platform that the metro terminates on, Martin Place, is platform 4. And they need to head to platform 3, the adjacent platform, for a service to Gadigal and Central. So the passengers will then make their way across the station just like that, and then I'm going to mark it out with green right here. So the shuttle terminates at Central because Waterloo and Sydenham is completely closed for track work. So from this section, I'm going to draw it from here and all the way to here. The metro also terminates here at Martin Place, so it only uses this one side marked by the green brackets. So the services that come from Central will come from this one side. It will come, past arrive at Gadigal station, and depart Gadigal on here, and then when terminates at Martin Place. It will then stop at Martin Place for approximately 2 minutes time before making its return journey back to Central, marked with lime color right here. So that is the terminus, and because Gadigal and Central only uses one platform for operation, and there is no crossover junctions, that also resulted in there only being one metro shuttle train running between the Martin Place and Central section, which might not sound like a lot, but however, Martin Place to Gadigal station is only 800 meters, and Gadigal to Central is approximately 1.1 kilometers. So Martin Place to Gadigal, it takes 1 minute, and Gadigal to Central takes about 1 minute as well. So the entire shuttle train takes 2 minutes journey. So yeah, that is basically all you need to know. So services from Tallawong after departing Victoria Cross will use the crossover to go to Barangaroo and Martin Place on the opposite direction, so that it doesn't bump into the shuttle services, and therefore why some platforms are closed at stations. So once you go to Martin Place, you need to transfer trains, and there's only one train. I already explained all of that. So yeah, that's basically it. And Waterloo Cinema is completely closed, so there will be no trains, and you have the Chamber of buses at Central. Now let's return back to the metro. So yeah, that is basically it for this video. Thank you everybody for watching this Metro Trackwork travel guide, and this is a video just to tell you guys from now until the opening of the Bankstown line. If more of these Trackwork happen, you know what to do, and hopefully you can help some other people. I mean, if you still don't got anything, you can always ask one of the metro staff at the station. But that is all for this video. If you like these type of videos, I will try and make more of them in the future if I can, to my best of my abilities. But for now, thank you for watching, and we will see you all next time.